Jaya Ram Kunja Vihar Jaya Ram Kunja Vihar Gopi Jana Yashoda Nandana Raja Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Can you send me the link on Zoom? Someone wants to join and I need the link. Can you send Bhavadam link to my Zoom to my WhatsApp? Yeah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Nunam Daivena Vihata. Nunam Daiveta Vihata. Yecha Chuta Katha Sudha. Yecha Chuta Katha Sudha. Hitva Shrinvanti Asatgatha. Hitva Shrinvanti Asatgatha. Purisham Iva Vidbujaha. Purisham Iva Vidbujaha. You want to repeat it? I have to decode one. Yeah. Nunam Daivena Vihata. Nunam Daivena Vihata. Chachuta Katha Sudha. Echa Chuta Katha Sudha. Hitva Shrivanti Asatgatha. Hitva Shrinvanti Asatgatha. Purisham Iva Purisham iva vidbhujaha. Nunam, because you said at least 3 times. I will recite it.
I should be saying Nunam Daivena Vihata
Nunam daivena vihata.
Nija Shuddha Kata Sudha
Echa chuta katha sudham.
Hitva Shvanvanti Asagata
Hitva shinvanti asangatha.
Purisham Iva Vidbhuja
Purisham iva vidbhujaha. Bhujaha. Nunam,
Nunam
certainly,
Certainly
daivena, by the order of the Lord,
by the order of
vihataha,
the
condemned, ye, those who, cha, also, achyuta, of the infallible Lord, katha, stories, sudham, nectar, hitva, having given up, shinvanti, they hear, asatgatha, stories about materialistic persons,
stories about materialistic
purisham, stool, iva, like, vit bhujaha, stool eaters, hogs. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Shravai Sharanara Bhakta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Such persons are condemned by the supreme order of the Lord because they are averse to the nectar of the activities of Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are compared to stool eating hogs. They give up hearing the transcendental activities of Sri Sri Radha Govinda Sri Sri Sabadan Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Transcendental activities of the Lord and indulge in hearing of the abominable activities of materialistic persons. Purport. Everyone is addicted to hearing of the activities of another person, whether a politician or a rich man or an imaginary character whose activities are created in a novel. There are so many nonsensical literatures, stories, and books of speculative philosophy. Materialistic persons are very interested in reading such literature, but when they are presented with genuine books of knowledge like Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Vishnu Puran, or other scriptures of the world, such as the Bible and Quran, they are not interested. These persons are condemned by the supreme order as much as a hog is condemned. Hog is condemned. The hog is interested in eating stool. If the hog is offered some nice preparation made of condensed milk or ghee, he won't like it. He would prefer obnoxious, bad smelling stool, which he finds very relishable. Materialistic persons are considered condemned because they are interested in hellish activities and not in transcendental activities. The message of the Lord's activities is nectar, and besides that message, any information in which we may be interested is actually hellish. So I'm sorry, I forgot. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Om Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Katamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Savijatam Sahavan Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhansute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं, यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। So actually, mm, today is suppose the class was given by Sri Sohinandan Prabhu, and please forgive me. Those of you who joined for him, please sorry to disappoint you. So, actually, my class changed to Wednesday because I'm dressing on Friday, but this week, unfortunately. So please forgive me for spoiling your day morning. So, of course, I take the dust of his lotus feet on my head. Only by the dust, power of his dust, will I be able to speak something. And the dust of all of you, who are far more exalted and far more sincere and experienced than me. This verse is speaking about me actually is two liter. So I was able to very nicely identify. So actually, um, the Prabhupada I was hearing today morning, Prabhupada was saying that how that uh, Prabhupada says very proudly that I did 10 times more than my Guru Maharaj. My Guru Maharaj only spread in India, but I spread all over the world. And then Prabhupada turned to his disciple and said, you have to do 10 times more than me. So that was inconceivable. So, I mean, that goes to show how much Prabhupada wants from us, Prabhupada expects from us. It's a very tall order, very, very tall order, you know. And it's a lifelong journey, but we know, I mean, although they may say, uh, we know that they are the doers, we are not the doers, they are the ones who do. So, actually, one very important aspect of our Vaishnav parampara is actually prayer. One time, one devotee, he was, helping Shri Radhanath Maharaj, to help him in his book to write something about Hanuman. And then Maharaj said, okay, just give me 20, give me 2, 3 hours, I will come back, or 1 hour, I can't remember. And then Maharaj went and prayed to the deity of Hanuman and then said that, he said, I am a prayerer. There's no such word in, I mean, we don't hear often that word in English. But basically, uh, he said that he gets everything by praying, right? So Maharaj also is mentioning that whenever he gets stuck with something, immediately he chants that Vandeham prayer. So um, we are actually meant to pray. And that's why these days, special appearance, disappearance days, they are very special for us because of the principle that by praying, heart becomes open to mercy. By praying, we become conscious of what needs to be done next. So many times we may jump 10, 20, 30 steps ahead of what is our adhika or what we need to do and contemplate on that, and it's not very fruitful. Or we may lament over something that we may have done in the past, but live in the present that art with thee. So that is the key, is to live in the present. So by praying, we can become conscious of what we need to do right now in our spiritual life. So, personally, in my spiritual life, the reason why I am like this in saffron cloth is one of the main reasons is actually Srila Bhakti Sri Thakur. He has played and he will continue to play a very important role in my life. So the thing is that these Vaishnav Acharyas, they are like our family. You know? So they give us so much emotional support, so much encouragement. Even though they may not be personally, physically present, they give us so much, encouragement in our spiritual life. So it's very good for us to develop a relationship with them. It doesn't have to be only the days which are specified fasting days, but even days which are not fasting, like Narottam Das Thakur, so many acharyas are there. So on those days, we can become specifically and specially connected to them. Mhm. So Bhaksan Saraswati Thakur was a revolutionary, and he was a very uncompromising speaker on Srimad Bhagavatam. And that is a very important principle. The thing is that if we compromise in not preaching, what is the problem? You suppose you speak some truth, something, you water it down and you present it to a new person. May be saying, oh, he's standing 16 rounds. He's coming to a temple. That's wonderful. But there is a huge problem there. What is the problem? The problem is that in the future, if the truth changes, they get to know the truth, the plain, then they become very difficult for them to accept it. If you train them in a particular etiquette, you know, like you never correct them, you never chastise them, and they look at them like, how could you do this? Is this Hare Krishna movement? Is this Vaishnavism? They look at you like that. I mean, they look at someone like that. So I always see initial training that we give to people or initial training that we were given, that's what determines who we become or who anyone becomes. So better to speak the uncompromising truth and say that, okay, if you cannot follow to what extent you can, but this is the truth. So don't compromise with the standard. Speak the real standard, the true standard of what is. Even if they become afraid, even if they become depressed, then console them that, okay, you cannot follow, you follow like this. But don't compromise with the truth. Because when you compromise, then neither you benefit nor they benefit. Because when you speak uncompromising truth, as a preacher, if you speak, you first of all become aware of what you're supposed to be doing. It's very inspiring for you. And the other person also actually becomes aware of how exalted our parampara is. So it's very, very important. That's why by unnecessarily sugarcoating or bringing things down, it's not actually helping. It's not helping because ultimately it's shaking their faith. See, faith comes by experience, and faith comes most of the time. Strong, unflinching faith comes when we apply principles in difficult situations. That's how faith comes. Like Jiva Goswami, he is glorified for his Guru Bhakti. How did he showcase that Guru Bhakti? He showcased that Guru Bhakti when Rupa Goswami rejected him. I mean, not actually rejected, but rejected him. So he actually went to crocodile hole. In that crocodile hole, he was, just barely eating, barely sleeping, and he was writing his commentary on the, Shat Sandarbha. So that actually is an exemplification of his Guru Bhakti, his love for his Guru. Why? Because even when his Guru rejected him, uh, first of all, he was constantly crying to be accepted again, and he did not stop his Guru Seva. So that is a glorification of his Guru Bhakti, right? And what is the principle here? The principle is that whenever Guru says anything, don't argue, just accept. Just accept. Don't use your logic. Guru is saying something, just accept, blindly accept. Because now you accepted Guru after deliberation, after Now just blindly accept. Don't dictate to Guru what Guru should do or what Guru should say. That is the principle. See, apply that. So if we don't tell when we are preaching, we don't tell this principle of Guru Bhakti that just accept what blindly Guru says. I mean, of course, after you accept Guru, just accept. If we don't say like this, say, no, no, you can ask question also, you can, give justification. Then what will happen? Then in a difficult situation, they will not apply this principle. Where they could make advancement, they won't make advancement. So that's why we should never compromise the principle. Principle should be spoken as it is. This is very important. Bhakshanji Thakur personified. That's why here Prabhupada is speaking about the hog. I'm actually speaking about me actually. But the point is that recently heard a lecture by Prabhupada. Prabhupada was just condemning this material civilization, how everyone is just complete rascal. And then at the end of the lecture, Prabhupada says, thank you very much, Hare Krishna. Prabhupada did not sugarcoat it, did not downplay, did not say, no, no, it's okay, because this is what will help us. This is what will help us. So it's very important what we speak, the standard we speak, the standard we try to exhibit is what people will learn. What people will learn. So our standards of Vaishnav etiquette, of humility, of seva, of sadhana, it's very, very important. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he emphasized so much on Vaishnav etiquette. So strong he was. One time, one disciple was standing near him, and here we're reading about the Lord. So they were taking darshan of Gandharvika Giridhari and Bhaktanath Thakur. Maybe there was some, it was difficult to see the deity because of some, practical problem. So the disciple told Maharaj that maybe you can come closer so you can take darshan. And, Srila Bhaktanath Thakur Prabhupada said, smiling, he said that I don't need glasses to see the deity. I don't need to come close to see the deity. We cannot see the deity by material vision. We can only see the deity by spiritual vision. Swayam eva spriteta. Unless he smears premanjan, Guru smears premanjan, you cannot see. You cannot see. So this is the principle that we have to follow Vaishnava etiquette very, very strictly. Because Sanatan Goswami mentioned to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that how he came on the sandy beach to meet him. And Sanatan Goswami's feet was filled with blisters. And Mahaprabhu glorified Sanatan Goswami for one reason, that the reason why you acted the way you acted is because you want to defend Vaishnava etiquette. Even though you are very pure, even though instead of contaminating, when the pujaris of Jagannath will see you, they will get purified. But still you acted like this to show the Vaishnava etiquette. No. Now one time my spiritual master, actually, one devotee was singing Tulsi Arati, and I mean, of course, there's only disciples there. Maharaj chastised them like right there, saying that, see, there are other senior disciples, don't you think about them? Don't you think? You think you're so advanced that you only should lead. So Vaishnava etiquette is very, very important. Very, very important. And so Bhaktanath Thakur's main principle was Vaishnava Seva, Vaishnava Seva, spreading the glories of Krishna, and of course, chanting the holy name. Of course, I cannot say, but Saraswati Thakur, sometimes some disciples went to Saraswati Thakur and said, Guru Maharaj, it's very difficult to chant 64 hours. I have so many service. And never did Saraswati Thakur say it's okay, it's okay. Saraswati Thakur said somehow while doing a service, continue chanting, somehow continue chanting. So of course, I'm not telling everyone to give up your service and start chanting 64 rounds. Personally, I don't do that. But the point is the dependence on the holy name. Like Saraswati Thakur always said, Naam Seva. Naam Seva, serving the servants of the holy name. And how do we serve the holy name? By serving those who are dear to the holy name. By pleasing those who are dear to the holy name, we get taste for the holy name. Holy name is not something of this world, it's not something that you can catch it with your hand. It's from the spiritual world, which means we are not the owners of the holy name. God and Nitai are the owners. And when they become pleased, they will give us. They will give this. So we can learn so many things from his life actually. Saraswati Thakur, before he took sannyas, um, as all other acharyas, he was also wearing white. And the time that he was chanting 1 billion names, it is explained at the same time, while doing that, he was also writing a commentary of Chaitanya Charitamrita. He was also managing a temple where he established the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya in what is it? In Yogapeeth in Mayapur. So the thing is that even though he was chanting, but he was also writing and he was also managing. So this shows that how, as followers of Saraswati Thakur, we have to do both. We have to do our sadhana and we have to do seva at the same time. If you give up your seva, sadhana will lose its power. And if you give up, like Prabhupada says something so wonderful in this regard. Prabhupada says that if you're not feeling inspired in Krishna consciousness, that means you are serving materially, you're not serving spiritually. Because if you, Prabhupada says, if you serve spiritually, then yoga, nava yovanam, it will become newer and newer and newer. So, and Saraswati Thakur greatly stressed on hearing. What is Srila Prabhupada's most wonderful quality is his intense desire to hear, his intense attraction to hear. So much so that even he says that Saraswati Thakur, he wrote English to show the English that they don't know English. He wrote English to show the English that they don't know English. So if you read any of his articles, we can understand such a scholarly person. So Prabhupada said, I could not understand, but I still heard. I still heard. So this was Prabhupada's intense desire to hear because Prabhupada was accepting what he heard as his life and soul. And he was acting on that principle. And he was taking it directly into the heart. It became a part of him. It became a part of Sri Prabhupada. So this is the way to hear, is to take it deeply into the heart and try to apply as soon as possible. So Saraswati Thakur stressed a lot on hearing. And hearing what? Especially hearing God Leela. Especially, that's why Saraswati and God Leela and the songs of the Acharyas. That's why Saraswati Thakur very much liked two books, Prem Bhakti Chandrika and Prarthana, songs of Narottam Das Thakur. And he used to, read them, recite them regularly. So by hearing, especially Chaitanya Charitamrita is very, very special. And Saraswati Thakur said, anytime you're feeling that you don't have pure devotee Sangha, just read Chaitanya Charitamrita. I mean, personally, it's my personal experience. Like last few days, I just somehow Krishna's inspiration, Lord, you just pick up Chaitanya Charitamrita and you read Chaitanya Charitamrita for 5, 10, 15 minutes. Even you don't read the purport, the verses, they are so inspiring. So because there's only pure devotional service. In some verse, Mahaprabhu is trembling, is crying, is rolling. Another place he is serving. Another place he's speaking about his love for Krishna. It's like really, really amazing. Amazing. It's the highest stage of seva in any realm, whether it's Bhagavatam, deity worship. And it's the thing about Chaitanya Charitamrita is so special because generally, suppose you hear about someone doing seva, okay, someone did seva. But Chaitanya Charitamrita goes into the details of what they were feeling, what Krishna was feeling, what was the interaction. So it's a really, really ecstatic actually. It's really amazing. You just read Chaitanya Charitamrita 5 minutes, you see immediate consciousness become raised. Because ultimately we are meant to follow him. We are at the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Only by his mercy we can progress in our spiritual life. So that's why Prabhupada, even Srila Prabhupada, when he was on Jaladuta, what he was reading? Chaitanya Charitamrita. Hmm. And that's why Saraswati Thakur said that if all books are gone in this world, if you can keep only one book, and you will get everything, that is Chaitanya Charitamrita. Hmm. So very, very amazing, amazing book. I mean, even though we may not have finished Bhagavatam, we can read parallelly, no problem, no problem. Hmm. So Prabhupada is saying everyone is addicted to hearing of the activities of another person. So Prabhupada's famous quality is addiction to hearing from his guru. So we can pray that to Saraswati Thakur that we can also become addicted to hearing. Addicted to hearing means we cannot live without hearing. We go to the bathroom, we're sleeping, we just cannot. Why? Because that is our life. That is our life. Otherwise, we're living a material life, even though we're doing seva, even though we're just associating with our mind. What is our mind? Our mind is Maya's best friend. So if we don't hear means what? We're meditating on the garbage which is in the mind, which is the nothing but a reflection of this material world. Right? So initial days when I used to come to Krishna consciousness, when seniors used to ask me a question, I say, I think, immediately they'll cut me. What do you think? Don't speak what you think. This was heavily condemned, and also guessing was heavily condemned. If I would guess, I would get chastised. Better to say I don't know. So then you get into the habit of only considering what acharyas and gurus said, not speculating, no, not guessing, etc. So becoming addicted to hearing. So when you hear, there are two aspects of hearing. One is actually the knowledge, but other is the divinity. So that with the divinity coming from the sound vibration, you can perform seva. Otherwise, it's very difficult to perform seva because otherwise, mostly, even though it's seva, it's been for myself, I just want to gratify my senses. That's all. So not real seva. Seva means nothing for me, everything for Krishna. Seva means I am out of the center, I am out of the picture, and Krishna is the only person in the picture. So this is real seva. This is the real seva. So the thing is that Saraswati Thakur heavily stressed on hearing from the devotees. So Saraswati Thakur heavily stressed, and especially hearing, Saraswati Thakur stressed on hearing about Krishna's pastimes of separation. Because sometimes in union, sometimes in Radha and Krishna, or when there is union, sometimes we may be a little careful or afraid. But in separation, there's no problem, because in separation, like Chaitanya Charitamrita is actually Krishna's pastimes, all of Krishna's pastimes in the mood of separation. And not only is just separation, but it's intense separation and constant intense separation. I mean, it's like very difficult to understand. How can you be in constant intense separation? Because Krishna manifests to a devotee to dissipate his separation, his feeling of separation. But because the devotee, due to his intense love for the Lord, he feels that although Lord appeared, Lord never appeared. But because Lord appeared, his feelings of separation, they get a special flavor. They become more intense. The devotee doesn't realize this. It's like the best example is Mother Sachi. She used to cook for Lord Chaitanya, offer to the deity. After offering to deity of Lord Chaitanya, then she would see deity will eat everything. Then she would think that maybe I forgot to cook. So she go and cook again. So this is a transcendental competition between the Lord and his pure devotees. So Saraswati Thakur stressed on hearing these pastimes of separation. And it's also explained that when Saraswati Thakur he was chanting those 1 billion names, Saraswati Thakur wore green cloth, green cloth, and green cloth is actually was symbolizing this mood of intense separation from the Lord. And yes, Saraswati Thakur heavily stressed on book publication. So distributing books. That's why Prabhupada said, that's why I'm pushing that. I'm pushing that. So why are books so important? Because these Prabhupada books are giving the absolute standard. Anyone who reads these books, they can find their footing in spiritual life. So it is our great beauty to become expert in understanding these books, and also understanding the mood in which Prabhupada wrote the purpose and presenting that mood. Mood is everything actually. So, I mean, we can hear Saraswati Thakur's life in a very mechanical, in a very lexicographical way, that he did this, he did this, he did this, Haribol, finish. But the thing is that the mood is very important. So we have to meditate on his mood. What was his mood? So Saraswati Thakur's mood of book publication was that that persons come in contact with Shastra. Not only Shastra, but the Shastra. You see how this is amazing. The way Prabhupada writes his purports is, if you read Prabhupada purports, you have to come to the temple, you have to serve. You cannot just keep reading. You have to serve. Prabhupada makes it very clear in his purports that if you don't serve, your hearing will not go deeper, your realization will not go deeper. So that's what Saraswati Thakur's mood was, is to hear from the devotees and to serve incessantly serve. Saraswati Thakur would be very heavy on the point that the brahmacharis, the grihasthas, everyone must go out and preach. Everyone must go out and preach. Even if one person distributes one pamphlet, one book, Saraswati Thakur will become very happy. But you must preach, you must preach. So we should have also this preaching fire within us. If we don't have it, we should cultivate it today. Doesn't take a lot of intelligence to do it. So by following this intense program of preaching more and more and more, and sticking to the temple program, these temple programs are very important actually. If we enthusiastically participate in these temple programs, then this enthusiasm will give us special grace to chant the holy name of Krishna. Mhm. So these temple programs, although they may seem very mechanical and very simple, but they are actually very, very important for us. And not just participating, His Grace Yogi Shukru says, not just participating passively, but actively putting our heart in the temple programs. And how you can understand what it means to put your heart. You read Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chaitanya Charitamrita is the best. You want solution, you're feeling low in your bhakti. CC is best actually, best. Because immediately the mood will come face to face. This is the mood should be there. I should be chanting and dancing in ecstasy. I should be putting my heart. This is Krishna right here, and I have the greatest opportunity to exhibit, to grow my devotion for Krishna, for Lord Chaitanya, for the Guru Parampara. So in that mood of gratitude and humility, we have to perform our devotional service. Saraswati Thakur again and again and again stressed on the importance of Trinadapi Sunichena. That is, Trinadapi Sunichena is so important. Now, what is Trinadapi Sunichena actually? Trinadapi Sunichena means becoming eager to always be insignificant, to be subservient to other devotees. So, this mood of Trinadapi Sunichena, one has to learn, or one will learn. If you want to stay in bhakti, you have to practice Trinadapi Sunichena. So, because only by Trinadapi Sunichena can you actually surrender, and only when you surrender to Guru, to Vaishnava, then only they will protect you. If you want full protection, you want to ensure that you will 100% go back to God, you can ensure right now. How is that? Is to, as much as possible, to the extent possible, to surrender to the principles spoken in the literatures, spoken by our gurus. Actually, Prabhupada writes something very heavy in Chaitanya Charitamrita, I'm sorry to say. But he says, as soon as we deviate from the instructions of Guru, immediately the uprooting of our Bhaktilata creeper starts. Sorry, but this is Prabhupada's words. As soon as we deviate from instructions of Guru or Shiksha Guru authorities, we deviate, then the uprooting of our Bhaktilata creeper starts. So that's why, of course, we don't have to be, fanatical. If you're tired or if you're sick, that's okay. But to the extent possible, we should follow. We should follow. We should follow. And Saraswati Thakur was very, very eager, very, very inspired by devotees mm, doing menial seva. And Saraswati Thakur encouraged anyone have any problem, anyone have any doubt, then do menial seva. One big person came to him asking a question. Saraswati Thakur said, I'm busy right now. Can you help me in washing pots? And after he washed pots, he said, my question has been answered. So this is the power of seva. So Saraswati Thakur mentioned that Guru's body and Guru's mission are not different. Right? So in one sense, we're all following the same Guru, the same Acharya. So if we don't serve Guru's body, we don't serve this mission, then we will never get realization. So we should take responsibility, stick to responsibility, and as much as possible, as long as our health permits, must engage in seva with enthusiasm, with eagerness, with detail. Like Madhavendra Puri, you see in Chaitanya Charitamrita, how much detail, um, the offering to Gopal, the offering to Gopal. Even though Madhavendra Puri saw Krishna face to face, eye to eye, he's not compromising on the details of the seva. So we should never compromise on details of the seva. If you compromise on details of your seva, you compromise details of your sadhana. For sure. For sure. If you become a little careless about your seva, that what does careless mean? Careless means you see that in your heart you are becoming opposite. You are becoming you are not concerned anymore about what you're thinking, what you're saying, what you're doing. You're not conscious anymore. It's okay. It's okay. Someone may be expert. That's okay. But the moment this feeling is gone, this feeling that I have to serve Krishna in the best possible way, I have to give Krishna the best possible thing. The anxiety is gone, everything is gone. I'm chanting my rounds. The moment the anxiety is gone, that I must uh, attentively chant, I must chant purely. The moment this anxiety is gone to make progress, this intense greed is gone, everything is gone. So we have to be very, very careful. And also something very important of Saraswati Thakur. Of course, Saraswati Thakur took sannyas to spread the mission. But the spreading of the mission means what actually? Spreading of the mission means, first of all, to spread this Krishna consciousness within our own heart. That's why this saffron color is very special. Two things Prabhupada said about saffron color. One thing is we don't wear white. We wear saffron. Why? Because we are not Vaishnavas, Prabhupada says. We are not so impudent to think we are Vaishnavas. Because if you read what is a Vaishnava in Chaitanya Charitamrita, a Vaishnava is a Paramahamsa. So therefore we take a position lower than white color, that is saffron color, which is still in Varnashram. That is the external reason. The internal reason is actually the saffron color is actually the love that Krishna has. Basically, Mahaprabhu's color. And what is that color? Krishna's intense anxiety to experience the love of Srimati Radharani. So it's basically personifying the service of Radharani. It's a very high thing. Saffron color is a very high thing. That is the internal reason why Saraswati Thakur introduced the saffron color. That's why acharyas are very expert in doing both things at the same time. Doing the external thing and the internal thing. And Saraswati Thakur, one thing Saraswati Thakur could never tolerate that Prabhupada personified is impersonalism and voidism. So we should, in our own humble way, we should try our best to, first of all, devotees who are connected in this movement, who are serving this movement, we have to try our best to nourish them, to make them more and more serious. And at the same time, outside persons who are following these impersonal principles, we have to help them. We have to help them. I mean, we may not be able to speak openly or heavily, but we must help them. We should not just, sit down and watch like a, passing visitor. Oh, he's a Mayavadi. Let him struggle. No, we should help. We should help. We should present whatever principles we can present. We should melt their heart with a loving service, and we should bring them into our mm, devotee sangha. Like that's what Mahaprabhu did. What did Mahaprabhu do? Mahaprabhu actually brought Prakashananda Saraswati into his association. That's the way he changed him. By his humble, loving sentiments, he melted the heart of Prakashananda Saraswati and, of course, became Prabhupada Saraswati. So the thing is that Prabhupada says, what is the way we preach? We go to someone, we flatter, oh, you're so wonderful, you're so great. But now please forget everything and simply accept what Mahaprabhu said. So you see Prabhupada everywhere he quotes Shastra, he quotes verses. Because otherwise, sometimes in the name of giving examples and stories and this, we lose the basis of what we're saying. Why? Because we deviate from Shastra. So we have to keep Shastra very close. So reading, understanding Shastra is very important. It is not an optional thing. Why? Because if you don't understand Shastra philosophically, I mean, in truth, then forget about telling others. Maybe you, in your own spiritual life, you will be sentimentally doing so many things, compromising so many things. So we need to understand scientifically by reading, by understanding. Like recently, I was reading Prabhupada. It's amazing that how that pastime, how Gopal, so many preparations are given to Gopal, and Gopal, even though so many preparations, that food preparation was untouched. So Prabhupada says, how is this possible? Prabhupada says, because Krishna is Purnam, he's complete. Therefore, when you offer food on the altar to Krishna, Krishna eats everything, but then by Krishna's touch, because Krishna is complete, it still remains complete. By his touch, everything remains the same as it is, but only the quality is changed. Only the quality. The quality of the food is changed. So, what a clear understanding it is. Anyone who asks, you can say this so boldly, and you can be convinced also. So, Saraswati Thakur also mentioned for those who are living in the temple that what is the seed of problem in the temple? The seed is doubt. First is doubt. Second, he said prajalpa, and third, he said blasphemy. If you either blasphemy, idle talk, or what is the
Prajalpa, blasphemy,
yeah
doubt.
doubt? Yeah, first thing is doubt. When we have doubt, whether it exists, how much ever it exists, doubt is a doubt. We have to clarify our doubt. By Shastra is very helpful. Devotees devotees association plus Shastra together will vanquish our doubt. And second is no idle talk. No idle talk, speak for myself. And the third is no blasphemy. Unnecessarily, no criticism, no blasphemy. Idle talk results in blasphemy. So these three things we have to be very careful. Saraswati Thakur was very heavy. Saraswati Thakur said that those who are living in the temple, if they have tried to use the temple as a way to accumulate name and fame, to eat nicely, to eat too luxuriously, they should be asked to leave. They should be asked to leave. And Saraswati Thakur said very heavy that renunciant should not use grihasthas for their sense gratification. They should only take service from grihasthas only for the mission of the Lord. So Saraswati Thakur was very heavy. And at the same time, Saraswati Thakur also showed. Yesterday, I was telling that the goal of our life, we should have a desire that one day we should stop eating, stop sleeping. Like we should have such desire that we should one day be able to chant 24 hours, read 24 hours. That is a goal of this movement. Saraswati Thakur one day was speaking to a group of scholars. Let's end with this. Saraswati Thakur was speaking to a group of scholars, and he started speaking about how our line is very exalted. First, he started speaking about Lalita Devi, then he started speaking about Ananga Manjari. And as soon as he started speaking about Ananga Manjari, his eyes, flooded with tears. And then Saraswati Thakur folded his hands and said, "Please forgive me, I cannot speak anymore." And Saraswati Thakur went and locked himself in his room. And for 3 days, he didn't come out. No eating, no sleeping, nothing, no bodily activity, no going to bathroom also. So Saraswati Thakur personified that what sadhu life means is to be absorbed. Today, when I was hearing a class, a small clip by my spiritual master, he was saying that first to absorb, the first thing for meditation is we have to be very careful. We have to withdraw from the meditation. We have to see what objects are distracting us. Everything has a particular nature, you know. Just like when you touch the deity, you see the deity. You have a particular you acquire a particular nature, right? Divine nature. So we have to withdraw, and then when you withdraw and you're very careful in this regard, mhm, then what happens? Then you become qualified to meditate. And actually, we may say we don't meditate. Actually, we meditate all the time. We constantly meditate. Uh, That's why Prabhupada says, Smartavya Satatam Vishnu, to always think of Krishna. So, according to how careful we are with the sense objects, that much we'll get the qualification to um, meditate on Krishna. Because to meditate on Krishna, you need a certain level of consciousness. If you're not situated on Vijnanamaya, between Vijnanamaya and Anandamaya, at least Vijnanamaya, you're trying. What is it? Namabhas, trying to avoid the offenses. If you are not trying, how is it possible to think of Krishna? So we have to be very strict and very serious. And that is shows our sincerity in Krishna consciousness. So what was acceptable before cannot be acceptable now. You know, before it may have been acceptable to spend a lot of time with family members, Haribol, but now it shouldn't be acceptable because we need to make progress. We need to make progress. We need to give ourselves more opportunity, to make progress in spiritual life. Mahatma Prabhu says, sometimes we don't realize we are the greatest enemy of our spiritual progress. We are not allowing ourselves to make spiritual progress by putting ourselves in such situations. And we hypothesize, we think that, oh, I have to fit into society, I have to do, but who cares about society? Does society care if you go back to God? And no, they don't care. So why should you care? So we have to be very uncompromising and very serious. So when we are very serious in withdrawing the sense of sense objects, what we see, what we watch, then what happens? Then we can meditate. We can meditate on Krishna. We can think of Krishna. And what is the result of even having a slight vision of Krishna is you become very happy, you become very satisfied. So all our acharyas are coming to give us this chance to go back to Godhead. And what to speak of going back to Godhead, we have a great responsibility. And for us to execute this responsibility, we need purity. So we need to cultivate this purity constantly. Purity, humility, all the qualities, we have to cultivate them by becoming very eager in our spiritual life. By seeing that, by praying to these great personalities, please help me. I need your help. So that's why it's in the purport, Prabhupada speak about hearing about Krishna. So now we're hearing about a pure devotee of Krishna who is more merciful than Krishna. So yeah, we should hear about pure, we should meditate on pure devotees. We should think, okay, today is the appearance day of Narottam Das Thakur. What can I do specifically for him, especially for him? How can I make relation with him? How? We should constantly meditate like this. And if we do this, definitely we will become successful. And so the best sadhana is to always remember the Guru Varga, always remember the great acharyas. Because if you remember the great acharyas, you remember their samadhis. Remember their samadhis, they will take you to Raj, they will take you to the holy places. They will take you to different places and make you experience the actual feeling of those places. They have that power. So this is what I wanted to speak today. I mean, I just want to glorify in my humble way Saraswati Thakur, and because I feel very indebted to him and I feel very grateful to him for what he has done in my life. So does anyone have any question or comment?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, and with pranams. Hello, Prabhupada. Prabhuji, it was a very nice, inspiring class. In the middle of the class, you said something about Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur wearing green,
Yes.
something like that you mentioned, Prabhuji. I could not understand. Could you please repeat?
Yeah. So when he was chanting those 1 billion names, it is said that he was wearing green cloth. So, I mean, what is it? Yeah, the understanding is this green color is actually color of Raj, um, golden Radha plus blue Krishna. It results in this, green color. Or, yeah, that's what Acharya described.
So it was a mood
So
of
this
separation.
Yeah, mode of intense separation. That's why Saraswati Thakur also later, when he told the devotees to hear about the pastimes of separation, it's very, very wonderful. That's why Charitamrita is so uplifting, because it's constantly about that. That's why, I mean, uh, Saraswati Thakur wrote. That's why Saraswati Thakur, the purports we have is actually Saraswati Thakur's purports. Actually, most of it Saraswati Thakur's purports, I mean, mixed Prabhupada also, kind of bringing it down to our understanding. But that's why when we read these purports in CC, we are actually breathing Saraswati Thakur's mode of separation.
Mm.
So, yeah, very special.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Anyone else have any other questions? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, just one thing I wanted to say before ending. One thing Saraswati Thakur was very upset about is quarrel. So you should be very careful to never quarrel, to never fight. Though there may be disagreement, to take a humble position. Because this is the way we can destroy our movement, destroy everything by quarreling, by arguing, by fighting. So we have to be very, very careful. To take a vow actually as much as possible that even though there is an opportunity for quarrel, opportunity for disagreement, let's try to resolve things in a very peaceful way. And that's what everything happens according to how much we please Krishna. You please Krishna, you try to please Krishna, then everything is wonderful. So we have to be constantly aware of the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. Try to fulfill the instruction. Try to fulfill the instruction. Try to fulfill the instruction. There is an article Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote, Rules for the Temple. It is there actually online. It's very, very heavy, very powerful, very purifying. So you all can go and read that. It's e-books, it's called Delight Read, is there. It's very wonderful. Very wonderful. Okay, so we will end here. Please forgive me, if I spoke anything wrong or inappropriate. You're all wonderful devotees. This is just for self-reflection, improvement. Hare Krishna. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki